The topic is very interesting, and both what and if are both certain and uncertain. According to me, if you can ask the question what is it that I know? You may say I don't know anything. But what is also very deterministic, Sometimes you think what means uncertainty, but it also is very deterministic. What am I doing? I'm making a presentation. Very deterministic. But what holds in the future, I don't know. It is very uncertain. So what he spoke about, even if is like that. If I'm hungry, I must eat. Correct? If it's going to rain, I must have an umbrella. If also has a deterministic way of, connecting two thoughts. But what if together sounds like, what is that? Black swan event, what if? So, I am going to use this podium in the next 15 minutes or so to address the yin and yang when you're at the crossroads of decision taking, and how at all companies have thought of this. Some of them my company, not all of them. And and some of them from outside. So let me start by first crediting CII and YI particularly for this session. Let me start with this point about entrepreneurship. I think India is going through a... It's come? Sorry. India is going through a great upheaval in terms of entrepreneurship with startups. And a great deal of credit is being given to the young as regards startups. And I will not take it away from the young, all of you. But here's one. So this is the yin and the yang. Starting with the yin and the yang. We give a great amount of credit to the young. But let me give you the spin on this. I am now 63. Kabhi hum bhi startup kiye the. No, the point is, when I graduated like Kamal out of IIT and all that, let me be honest, even today people ask me, you must have had a vision of being managing director or Tata Sons director. I think, Kamal, I will admit that it was just to get a good job when you passed out. We had no this vision of, I am going to rule the world and all that. I think only Napoleon and Hitler will probably have such visions. So, and it's not just a good job. Why is it a good job? Two things. It brings you respect in society. IIT, IIM, okay, one thing. Then there is respect in society. You must have a good label. IAS is the best label. The speaker is going to follow. But, we had companies like Godrej. I joined Godrej and Boyce Manufacturing Company. Then there's a second reason. We were driven, certainly at the back of our mind, and I give credit to my parents, I don't give them the debit, that we have to look after our parents as we grow. Okay? I think the greatest gift we have given our children, I'm confidently saying to myself, is that we have cut that umbilical cord. We have given them the confidence, saying, you don't have to look after us, look after yourself. I think that has unleashed the potential in India. I think the parents are not being given enough credit for the risk that these kids are taking. I think the youngsters, I know middle class family youngsters who have come out of IIM, they have borrowed money to go into IIM. They have this great idea, and the parents have said, go ahead. You don't have, we are not dependent on you. We look after us. And things have happened in the country, insurance and, people have become more confident. And the biggest is the bringing up. And therefore, the unleashing has an undercurrent, I believe, strong, which belongs to the previous generation, which has freed the young generation from. So having said that and giving you the great credit for, entrepreneurship, I just want to deal with this subject on the two people who I worked with. They said we'll call it managing uncertainty through values. Values sounds a little, to me, more and more, values, we are looking at values in this country as tearjerkers, the value systems of a certain company, of looking after, more and more as I see CSR spends, if we are not professional about serving the community, if you're not professional about corporate citizenship, tear-jerking will only lead you to emotional responses. I think we need strong, professional, if we have to eradicate hunger, if we have to eradicate poverty, if we have to, conquer cancer, or if we have to girl-child education, tear-jerking can only lead to something. So, to me, values is something else, which is why I come to the next bit, which is, to me, the idea of an enterprise is where I start with. I'll go back to the previous slide, and I will speak as a business enterprise only. I suppose you people, I know that only best. I have no idea of societies, I have no idea of NGOs, I have no idea of the government sector. All these are institutions, but the business enterprise is what I can talk about. So when you come to a business enterprise, we all know, and we must admit, and all of you, I guess, will agree, that we can have all kinds of purposes for an enterprise, business enterprise, but we should never forget that a business enterprise has to create value. And values, let's not confuse with values, it is clearly about top line minus cost, maximize. You must create financial value. If you're not creating financial value, you're not a business enterprise. So please remember that. And the only thing is, that is not the only purpose of a business enterprise. Increasingly, everybody is admitting that business enterprises are citizens of the country or the world, and therefore they have to be responsible citizens. So I come, therefore, how do business enterprises deal with external uncertainty? I think Kamal spoke a great deal about how Amazon deals with uncertainty. There are techniques, there are scenario planning, trend spotting, futurology, all kinds of things. Science is available today. But here I will go to the yin and the yang, the internal certainty versus external uncertainty. When I look at the Tata Group, 150 years we complete now. But beyond that, when I look at bigger institutions, and I'm not asking for any religious and non-religious person to respond to this. When I look at religions, they are some of the longest standing institutions in the world. All of them have an internal certainty, which means the Bhagavad Gita or the Quran or the Bible or the Granth Sahib is written and interpreted, but it never changes. Okay? So there is a certainty. So during difficult times, a religious person goes back perhaps to those teachings. So it is the foundation. So when you look at that thing, and then I come to the Tata Group, which is the only group, largely I've worked for. The values that we are talking about is something that is ingrained in the enterprise. So when I look at the equivalent religion, it is the the Bhagavad Gita or the Quran. Therefore, if you have to learn from there to deal with uncertainty, while all techniques like future scenario planning and futurology, etc., exist, unless the inside of an organization has very strong core, and it doesn't have to be 150 years old. The choices you make when you create an enterprise, typically we get carried away by the Excel sheet which shows either 5 years or 15 years, I don't know, of the valuation, not values. Not value creation, valuation. Very few enterprises are talking about what are we wanting to be, what is our sustainable business model that will ensure that forever we will survive and forever we'll keep creating value, which is the financial value, and forever we'll be corporate citizens. So, let me move to 3 or 4 words to which I will connect examples, and maybe that will bring some of these alive. Many organizations, and one of the fundamentals of the Tata Group is trust. Okay? So let me use this word trust as a foundation for certain companies. Not all companies need to have trust at the core. I'm just giving you an example from the Tata Group. I'll give you an example of trust from the Titan experience. On, was it December 8th or November 8th? Demonetization? November 8th. November 8th, 2016. 8 o'clock the speech started. By 8:15, our jewelry team had got onto phones and told 215 stores we have that it has been announced and you have to be careful, make sure. But we also told them, because we are a value creating enterprise, you can keep the store open till 11:59. Okay, I'm just giving you an example. Because they also want to maximize, okay? Now here's the spin on this, which is the yin and the yang. The girls in the store, forget who's going to, no owner is going to sit in the store at till 11:59. It's the girls in the store whom we have trained over the last several years who are sitting in the store. Those girls will make money if they sell more. Incentive, all retailers give incentives. I don't know what happened, but the next few days I traveled around from Haridwar to Vijayawada and so on, and one of our franchisees, she told me, she said, Bhaskar, I got the phone call. I didn't know what to do, because could I control them not accepting cash after 1 o'clock, after 11:59? Because I know your SAP will switch off the invoicing system. That is the control. But you know how people are. Jugaad sab koi bhi kar sakta hai, jugaad. So she said, I got a call at 2 o'clock in the morning from one of my friends saying 30 lakhs I have, please accept. In Haridwar he said 80 lakhs was, please, you're my friend, give me, I want to convert it. Not a single instance of transgression was discovered in our system. The next morning, I don't know how many of you know, how many stores got raided. Not one of ours got raided. Now, I'm not talking about this from pride as a company. I'm only talking about the ingraining in those girls. In 215 stores, I'll give you an average. It's 25 people per store. So can you imagine how many people are involved? Now my point is that we trusted them to behave. It could have been a huge reputational risk for us, even if one store had transgressed, because as he said, news, people just, sensationalize things. Oh, Tata Group, even they have. So my point is that when the people in the system believe that this is what the business model is, trust is the business model. I'll go to the next one. Many companies talk about stakeholder, We are multiple stakeholder oriented. We must be, we must celebrate the vendor. We must be kind to our business partners. Here is on GST, 30th of June, just one more example. Everybody was talking about, I don't know what the retailers are going to do. You're all aware of this, no? That, GST benefit, companies won't give and it won't be passed on and we'll wait and so on. Our watch business took one big call, 28% was the GST impact. The total impact was 70 crores going forward. For a business which does 250 crores profit, 70 crores is a lot of money, But they said, we have been talking about market leadership. We have been talking about, orientation towards the dealer. It was not the dealer's fault that GST has been increased to 28%. So without knowing what the number is going to be, the watch business, Titan watch business, was the first to announce to the entire world saying, whatever is the loss, we will bear. Don't worry, just go and sell. For all these years, we've been talking about partnership and all that. When push comes to shove, that is what tests you. So stakeholders are important, but it is during times when you're pushed, what is the decision you take? The yin and the yang. We could have gone to the other. We could have said, okay, all companies are doing this, so we will also follow. We will see 50-50 karenge, etc., etc. Now the only point is, here the yin and the yang is, if you have to remain market leader, you have to behave like a leader. You can't just say, I'm market leader by market share, but when it comes to morals and ethics, I'm some other kind of leader. The third one is, a lot of people talk about obsession, customer obsession. Our value system is customer centricity and customer obsession. I don't have to tell you this story at all. When you look at this picture, you will know what it is. How the employees at the Taj Mahal Hotel behaved on 26/11/2008. I think all of you know that it was not in their KRA. Their boss didn't tell them that, what the credo of the Taj, this hotel is? Not all the guest is God. The Taj is not the best serving hotel. Today people say, Oberoi has got greater class, the Marriotts have come. But if the people in the Taj, you can never beat them. You can never ever beat them for guest service, serving in a... And I'm not saying because I'm part of the group, I've always admired. I keep criticizing them for the finish, for the, lack of class, but here he is, Mr. Somnath Mukherjee. I was just praising the people in the Taj group. So, I think all of you know, it was not in the KRA to go and protect the guest from bullets. So, obsession again is not on the walls of an organization saying, we are obsessed about customers. This is behavior by 300, 400 people, housekeeping staff, the waiters in the restaurant, etc. Therefore, again, I am just drilling this point in saying, profit is a big driver for all of us. But if you have to respond, these are all, was that a black swan situation? Was demonetization a black swan situation? Maybe not. People could have predicted. Now we can say, no, Modi would have always done it and all. But it's certainly huge uncertainty. This attack on the Taj, huge uncertainty. GST, maybe not. Many companies have agility as their, credo. I am taking this example of Ola. It's a great brand, What they did during the floods in Chennai, they responded, Now, sitting in a company like Titan, our people said, nahi, ye kaise kiya inhone? They're taking advantage of, they shouldn't have put their brand. You can't pass judgment. Our guys are saying, they shouldn't have put their brand, they should have just rescued people. I said, what is wrong here? That is their credo. That is their credo, agility, and in the process they're building their brand. I don't see anything wrong, in as much as I didn't see anything wrong with the former CM, branding everything during that time, no? They were branding everything. So, there are situations like this. What I'm saying is, these are value systems of these companies, and they drive behavior of the people. I come to one last one, which is very, very popular. I didn't use the word, you will know what I'm talking about. Actually, I'm talking about punctuality. Indigo Airlines, right? Fantastic for on-time performance, right? Do you know, it's not just their credo. Today, that company lives by that. They pay salary on the last day of the month at 11:59. 11:59, I don't know, it can't get credited, but this is what the guy said. We have to stand by those values. So it is ingrained in those people. So they hustle you. They hustle you 45 minutes before to get into that bus and say, OTP is, you know what it is? OTP, on-time performance. OTP is their motto. Now there can be a downside to all this. If OTP is their motto, maybe that's why he was pushing that gentleman into the bus, and that's why all that happened. So, I don't know, I'm not passing judgment on, but if you're driven by that, then something else you may forget, Therefore, all I'm trying to establish is that to deal with external uncertainty, there are many, many ways, but one thing is tenacity of purpose. Build tenacity of purpose in your organization. That will help deal with the uncertainty, good or bad. I can't say, but purpose is what? Like Indigo Airlines, was that the way they reacted because on time they wanted to, empty the aircraft? I am not passing judgment, but that can deal with uncertainty, and that's not the only thing that can deal with uncertainty. I love to talk about only one thing, and that's why I've spoken only about this. There may be 20 other things which the rest of the people will talk about. So thank you very much.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. What an address from Mr. Bhaskar Bhat. Heroes change, context change, techniques, technology, people, processes change, but value systems remain constant and become your positive shield at all points in time.